Hello and welcome to my weekly whip and chat. I often call it Diamond Paint with me, where you can work on anything that you would like to spend some time with, or you can simply treat this as a podcast. So grab your supplies and let's get started. Hey y'all, I am Debbie. I am going to be working on my whip, which is a diamond painting or a work in progress. And this one is Bubble Girl, and this is from Bella Art Diamonds. I started working on this when I went on a diamond painting retreat. I am right at the halfway mark, have not had a chance to get back to it. So I thought this would be a fun one to work on with you guys today. I only have this small section here, so I should get it finished, and then I have some release paper below. I was using my washi tape, went ahead and put some release paper down, and I will just start on another section if I get to it. This one is a little boring because, not the painting itself, but this one section, because it is going to be mostly the finish of the bubbles on this side. So there's a lot of blue, and there's going to be some white here, and then just a little bit of her hair is what I have left on this little section here. But we'll go ahead and get started. I'm using a tray from Bijou Bliss. I love this tray. I really like how it has magnetic top. It also has a magnetic stopper, which I am not using right now. I tend to not use the stoppers because I'm changing out colors quite a bit, and so whenever I do, I just prefer not to take the stopper in and out. I probably should use a stopper because when I go to shake my actual tray, then I don't think about it. Sometimes I shake too hard and sometimes my diamonds fall out, but that's okay. That is just a me thing. So first of all, also before that, I am using a pen from Leopard Leatherworks. This is a custom-made pen by Tim and Carrie, owners of Leopard Leatherworks. I absolutely love this pen. I am using Joy's Putty in my multi-placer, and this one is Cucumber. It is a really nice scent for summer. And then in my single placer, I am currently using Glue Dots. And I am using my Art Dot for my storage container. So I'm already having to put these back in. I started working on this one early this morning before I was actually ready to do a whip and chat. And that's why I have some of this already done. And then I took a break because I had to get started with work. And then I thought, well, I'm going to take a small break and go ahead and start with my whip and chat with you guys. And I didn't want to go ahead and just get this finished. So well, I'll go ahead and finish it with you, and then I can easily open up another small section. So first of all, before we really get started, how are you guys doing today? I hope that you're well and that you had a great weekend or a really nice start to the week. I am filming this on Monday morning, and this will go out on Tuesday unless there are any technical problems. Hopefully there won't be any. But I haven't really had a chance to diamond paint very much lately, and I'm hoping that I can get quite a bit done this week, and we'll see, because it is finals week for my students, and it's also a reporting week for me. So once all the finals are done, those are graded, and I have to get all the final grades posted, then I have reports that I have to do. So it just depends on how the week goes, if I get a chance. And then I also have to do a couple other things in the evenings for this week. So we'll see. We'll see how much that I actually get done. But I would like to. I am not sure how much I'm going to have for the month in review for this month. I will have one finish, and that one is on my Dragon Seasons. I have finished summer, and I can't decide on that one if I want to go ahead and just move forward and work on fall and go ahead and get that completed, or if I want to take a break in August and come back to that one in September. And when I feel like it's actually, closer to fall, I can get in September, I should be able to get fall completed. And then I can go ahead and either wait until November and start on the winter, or then go ahead and start on it too. I would I don't know, I'd like to take a break, just the fact that I am going to participate in the Cheryl Baker event. I did that one last year. I said I wasn't going to participate in very many, if any, events other than the ones that I'm actually hosting. But I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead. I love Cheryl Baker's work. I've only completed one of hers, and that was last year during the event. I have several. I've ordered one from the one with the diamond art, and it's a new one that Diamond Art Club did not have, that they did not have that one to ever come out, and it is just so adorable. I thought, well, I'll do that one for the Cheryl Baker event, and I also want to work on one of the ones with the diamond art that isn't black and white. This one's actually going to be, colored. Doesn't have as many drills as the Josephine Wall one that I worked on did. So I'm curious to see how that one's going to work up. It was a specific size and specific drills. And now I can't remember if the drills were round or square. I'm thinking the drills were square, but I saw it and I thought, I'm going to get it. I want to see how the one with the diamond art is going to render Cheryl Baker. So that one has not come in yet. It has not been shipped. I don't know how long that's going to take for them to get it in and for them to ship it. So it may be that I decide to work on another diamond painting of Cheryl Baker's. I have one from Craftably, and as most of us know, unfortunately, Craftably is no longer in business, but I have that one. I've had it for a while. It would also work for Drills and Chills, which I have done since the beginning of me being in diamond painting. So I may go ahead and do that one, get that one kitted up. I don't think it will take me very long to do it. It will also give me another company for the year, because I have not done a Craftably this year, and I don't know what happened last year, but I didn't do a Craftably last year either. And I love Craftably. I just got wrapped up in other diamond paintings and did not do a Craftably last year. At least I don't think I did. So I do want to do a Craftably this year. That will also give me a reason to do one, would be for the Cheryl Baker event. So I may go ahead, get that one kitted up this week, and then also get started on that in August. And then if the other one comes in, I'll just put it up. I'll probably go ahead and open it so you guys can see what it looks like. But other than that, I would not be able to do two. So that's kind of my dilemma right now. More than likely, I'm going to go ahead and go with Craftably and get that one done. It's also darker colors. Right now, I am doing very bright colors of what I have in my WIP rotations. So that might be really good as well, to have something different. But there's a lot of events going on in August, so feel free if to do an event if you guys would like to. There the events are located underneath Mr. and Mrs. Dubé. Under their, it's their Instagram, and then you can also locate that information, I believe, on YouTube as well. Some of these drills are not pressed down good. I'm not on camera right now. I just saw a few drills, if you can hear them popping, that were not all the way down. I'm having a little bit of issues with this canvas doing this, that I think that they're all in and they're not. And I have actually rolled this once already, and not sure why. I haven't had any problems with any of my Bella Art canvases. This one is an older one. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I have had just a couple of issues with the drills not wanting to stay all the way in. All right, let me go to a different color. This one is going to be a white, kind of cream color. So let me know if you guys are going to be working on any events in August, and if you would like to tell us what you're going to be working on, that would be great. There's also an event that is hosted by Patsy Putty on Facebook. I am actually helping out with that group. I'm a moderator, and so I am going to be moderating the event for the owner. And that one, we are making it super, super easy. All that you have to do is to have we started out with a 30 by 40 canvas because it was like end of the summer blowout. Wanted something small and fun, very relaxing. Well, then there were several members of the Facebook group that's Patsy Putty Facebook group. I'll put that information below under the description as well. You have to be admitted into the group in order to join, but you just answer a couple of questions and you can easily get in. And the 30 by 40, I had some of our members that said they did not have anything that small, so they could not participate. And so then I asked the owner if we could go ahead and have just any size canvas. Doesn't have to be 30 by 40, but you can section off a 30 by 40 section of the canvas. And all we're looking at are progress updates from one week to the next in order to be eligible for that weekly giveaway. And there are some amazing giveaways, several giveaways. There will be more than one giveaway each week because it's only for a month, for the month of August. And we have several that have offered to sponsor, including Patsy Putty. And we'll have more than one spinning of the randomizer of the wheel. And you just have to show progress. It does not have to be completion, doesn't have to be a specific section. Just need to show progress within that 30 by 40 section on the canvas. So if you'd like more details on that, please go to the Patsy Putty website or group on Facebook. And again, I will link that information below as well. And her putty is really nice. I mean, just amazing. I use Patsy Putty and I use Joy's putty. And that's really all the putty that I have been using lately. I still love Miranda's. I started out with using Randa's Crafty Corner. Still love her putty. And I go back and forth. I have quite a bit of putty of Randa's for the fall. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. And I like to go back and forth. After I change my putty out, or I will go, I've been just keeping the same putty because it lasts for so long that when I do another canvas that I start on, then I will go ahead and I will use Randa's next, or I will use Patsy Putty. So for Patsy Putty's event, I'm obviously going to be using Patsy Putty, and I think that I will use my new canvas that I am starting on, whichever that's going to be, more than likely the one from Craftably. And I'm going to go ahead and I will have an unboxing and a kitting up this week. I'm not sure if it is going to be on Thursday or Friday, but it will be for a canvas that I'm going to work on for the event for Cheryl Baker. And that same canvas will be the canvas I am going to work on for Patsy Putty. And then if it is eligible for Drills and Chills, whichever one that I decide on, if it's eligible, then I will go ahead and do it for that one also. I'm not starting on a new canvas for Drills and Chills. So that's kind of why I thought it would work out perfectly if I do the Craftably. So again, let me know if you're going to do anything, if you're not doing any events, which not everybody does events. I have not been doing events, but I love the fall events. So I may be doing a few more of those. It just depends on how much I can get done and if I feel comfortable of starting yet another canvas, because I'm not going to have several canvases out. I'm hoping to have this one finished. It will not be finished in July, but it will be finished in August. So I will have a finish. And then if I do put up my Dragon Seasons, I went over, can't count. If I put up Dragon Seasons for a month, then that will give me opportunity to work on my Cheryl Baker. Molly is outside. She is so indecisive. So if you hear her barking in the background, she is outside in our backyard and she wants in. But as soon as I bring her in, she will want out. Then she will start barking because she will want to come in here and be with me. And the only time that she barks and she is not well behaved is when I do videos, especially on a WIP and chat. I don't know if she just thinks mom has lost her mind. She's talking to herself and this woman is cray-cray. Or she's like, okay, mom is not paying attention to me. I have no idea what she is talking about. She is diamond painting yet again. And again, she is cray-cray. So that's just Molly. And for those of you that are new, that is my collie who weighs about 42 pounds, still thinks that she is a puppy and thinks that it's okay that she jumps in my lap and she just wants to sit there. Well, she is bigger than my lap. So we've had some conversations about that too, and she just doesn't get it because the cat can jump in my lap and then she gets upset because she can't stay in mine. But she's a big girl, very big girl. But she's small for a collie, so she is big and she's small, I guess. This past weekend, I had the best time. Thought about you guys as I was at Scrapbook Expo, and I think personally, and my best friend who we always go together, we've been going for years and years, think that they should change the name. Instead of calling it Scrapbook Expo, it should be called maybe Arts and Crafts Expo, Mixed Media, Bling, something besides just Scrapbook. Because for me, if I didn't know better, I would think, okay, this is for scrapbookers only. They're only going to have vendors that for scrapbooking. Well, I do not scrapbook. I have not scrapbooked for years. I do a little bit of memory keeping, but what I do is very quick. I use my products that I use for card making, and I do not sit there and do layouts for scrapbooking. Sometimes I will do a digital layout, and then I will use that, I will have it printed out, and I'll make a book out of it, which I think I'm going to do that in the winter. It doesn't take me very long at all. So I might do something like that. But as far as paper scrapbooking, I do not do that anymore. I don't find it enjoyable for me. I'm not saying anything's wrong with scrapbooking, but it's just something that I don't do anymore. My kids are grown. I don't have grandchildren. I'm not expecting any for a long time. So I don't really want any for a long time because my kids are not ready. And so anyway, I just don't scrapbook. So Scrapbook Expo, it's getting less and less people there because I think of the word scrapbook. Now, they had card making classes. A lot of their classes were card making. They had diamond painting there. They had someone that was selling diamond dots. And they had a lot of people that were going to the crops. They call them crops still. And it should not be called a crop because that is scrapbooking. But there were people there. Last year, I was the only one. And this is a huge room with a lot of people, a lot of tables. I don't know how many, but it was a large room. Last year, I was the only one. I would say there's at least 250 to 300 people that were there at what they call the crops. So last year, out of all those people, I was the only one in the whole entire room that was diamond painting. And everyone would come to me, ask me questions. And so this year, I decided, okay, it's 2 days. We're going to be taking some classes. I don't want to have to carry my diamond painting and everything else. Plus, whenever I buy something for card making, I'm going to have all of that too to have to carry. So, and I could have taken my paint gems. I was going back and forth on, do I take paint gems? Do I not? And decided I'm not going to take paint gems either. So I thought it's time to take a break from diamond painting. Not that I really want to, but I need to. I need to work on card prep and other things because I've been not doing my cards like I should. So I took some things to work on my cards with. All the classes that I took were card related, and we also purchased some things for our cards that was so much fun. We were almost out of, and it's coloring, but you're coloring on this special paper that is made with glitter, but the glitter does not come off. It is smooth paper, but it's very blingy. And so we took a class last year with that, and it was so much fun. And so we bought some things last year. I was almost out of all of these, basically stickers. And it has a black background, and you color these, you put them onto this paper, this glitter paper, and it makes beautiful backgrounds and beautiful stickers. And then you can put them on your cards. And so that's what I spent the majority of my time working on. I just made a bunch of those so that way I can just put them on my cards. I can cut them out, put them on my cards. They're now colored. And I just needed to do something that wasn't diamond painting. And not that I was even getting tired of diamond painting, but I thought I'm giving diamond painting way too much love lately, and I need to just take a break and work on cards. Because my card group that I have on Wednesdays, we take a break in the summer, and my card group's starting back at the end of August, and I want to have some backgrounds already made, and that way I can just make cards for our first couple of times together. So I was walking around and looking at different things, and it was a lot of scrapbooking. Almost everybody there was scrapbooking, but there were some ladies that were actually diamond painting as well. And I thought that was really cool. The table that was right in front of us, there was about 8 of them that were friends, and they rented out a table. And this one lady was heavy into diamond painting. And so it was funny because I heard them talking, and I thought, do I ask her? Do I not ask? And so then I saw that she had brought out a diamond painting, and they were talking about doing a couple of events and what they were going to do. And I thought, this is cool. So I told them, and my best friend said, are you going to tell them you have a channel? And I said, no, that's just awkward. Like, I'm trying to sit there and market my channel. I said, I don't know. That just feels kind of weird to me. So anyway, I started talking to this lady, and they were all stopped and they were all listening. We were talking about diamond painting. And then my best friend said, oh, by the way, she has a channel. And so they were all talking about, well, we need a new friend. We need someone that we can listen to. And so we gave them my channel name. That was really cool. Even though I wasn't going to do it, she went ahead and did it for me. So that was fun. And so there were other diamond painters there. That wasn't the only table. There was another table that almost everybody was diamond painting. I walked by and I was just asking them. And this one lady said, your voice sounds really familiar. And come to find out, she is a subscriber. Not going to say her name, but if you were listening, it was so much fun meeting you. And it was really cool because she said, I don't recognize your face at all, but I recognize your voice. How do I know you? And then it came out that she is a listener. So thank you so much. That was fun. And I just had to be walking by. I was taking a break, going to call home and make sure everything was okay, and walked past and saw she was diamond painting. And so I was just talking to her. And so that was a lot of fun, and talked to her for a while about some different things. So it's not just scrapbooking. And again, there were a lot of people scrapbooking. I have never seen so many of these wagons. The wagons are made of this really thick material and has wheels, and they look just like a wagon. And these people have these things loaded up as much as they could possibly load up their wagons without anything falling off. And then they were making 2 and 3 trips to their cars. And I would have been totally overwhelmed. But they're saying that less and less people are attending than they had in the past, and that some of the vendors were concerned because they are paying a lot of money to rent their space in order, to sell at this place. So I just think that when you say Scrapbook Expo, that it's like, okay, I don't scrapbook, I'm not going. But if they would call it something else, they had a lot of mixed media. They had a lot of paper products that you could use for junk journals. They had card making. All the classes that we took were cards. They were all card making. And then the fact that someone was selling diamond dots. I didn't even go into their booth because if I went in the booth, I would see something I wanted. And I thought, no, I am not buying any more diamond paintings right now. I have got to use what I have and need to do that before I start to buy anything else. So anyway, I did buy some things for my cards. I was so tired yesterday. I'm looking for an and sign. I was so tired yesterday when I got home that I thought, nope, I just cannot. I just absolutely, as much as I would like to, I cannot unpack today. Not gonna happen today. So I need to unpack. Since I didn't unpack yesterday when I got home, I thought, well, I need to go ahead and unpack today. So I will, and I'll put all my things up. Didn't spend as much money as I normally do. I had money allocated for the vendors. There's a lot of vendors there. And the ones that were strictly scrapbooking, they made paper for scrapbooking, and all you had to do was, to adhere your different, die cuts or whatever. I didn't go to those, but I went to a lot of the other ones, walked around a lot, took 4 classes. I had to stop for just a couple of minutes. Paige came downstairs because Molly was outside barking, and Paige was going to go get her for me, and so I just stopped recording and asked her if she would watch Molly while I am doing my video, and so she said she would. So Molly is now upstairs. We are still watching the girls. That would be Molly and Salem. Salem is my cat. We're still watching them closely together just to make sure everything's okay. Normally Molly stays in the basement and doesn't go upstairs very much, and so they just stay away from each other. But we are down to 1 dog now, and we've been letting Molly go upstairs. We couldn't let Zoe go upstairs because every time that Zoe went upstairs, she would have an accident, and she knew better than that, but she did every time. So we had to keep them downstairs in our basement. They have their own little room. It's perfect for them. She likes it down in the basement, but now that we are down to just Molly, we've been letting her go upstairs, and they've been doing okay. The cat and the dog have been doing pretty well. Every once in a while, Salem will hiss at her, and they've been around each other before. We've had Molly for 4 years, and they've been around each other, but Salem was just scared of her and would just run off. And so now Salem just kind of ignores her. So that's been interesting, but we like to just watch them when they're together. But I have actually left the house a couple of times, and I thought, well, Molly didn't want to go downstairs. I'm going to leave her up here, and hopefully they will be okay by the time I get back, and they're both just sleeping, so they're both fine. I think it's more of me worrying than it is of the animals not being good together. But anyway, we were there for Friday and Saturday. And the classes were a lot of fun. We learned some new techniques. One of the classes, we didn't learn anything. It was different than what I thought it was going to be, and different than what my friend thought it was going to be too, different than what the description was. But the person that was doing the class gave us some stencils, some free stencils. Well, it came with the kits. We got to keep our stencils, and they are layering stencils. I've never done a layering stencil, so I guess in a way that it was a new technique. So that was a lot of fun. So now I can use stencils and ink and add to my cards. So we did. We had a great time, but I just hope that they don't decide not to come to Atlanta, because the event is not as popular as it used to be. But I can definitely see why it's not popular. I think if they were looking at a marketing standpoint, then someone needs to pipe up and say, well, I don't think that this name is working for us any longer. But I thought it was really cool to see others that were diamond painting, considering that nobody was last year but me. And then when I got home fairly early in the afternoon on Sunday. I dropped my best friend off. She's having some car trouble now. I'm like, oh, sorry. Usually whenever something happens to me, it happens to her, or vice versa. And so now she's having car trouble, and she has a new car. She's only had it for a year, brand new car. So she was having some trouble. And so I said, I don't mind driving. I'll be glad to. So I did, and we got there safe and sound. But I drove her home, and then I got home, and my husband was waiting outside for me because he was working in the yard. He helped me bring my things in. It didn't take that much. We figured out what we needed to take, and it was so easy. We made it all in one trip without using any kind of rolling carts. We didn't do any of that. We did take a small suitcase, very, very small, to put blanket and things in. And then whatever we bought, so it was easier, but we made it in one trip, no problem whatsoever. We did not have anything large like a lot of people did, which was very, very nice. But one thing I can definitely say about the convention center where they had this is it was absolutely freezing. And it wasn't as cold over where you're shopping, but where they had the tables where you would do your crafting, it was so cold. It was absolutely ridiculous that it was so cold. I'm always cold-natured anyway, so I was prepared. I had a blanket, I had a jacket, had a short-sleeve shirt, and I should have brought a hoodie. I was going to, and I didn't, but I also brought some slides, some shoes that I don't wear socks with. Well, my feet were so cold, they were actually blue at times. And I thought, I'm always cold, so I can't really say if it's as cold as I think that it is in here. But my best friend, who is not cold-natured, she told me that she was absolutely freezing. She didn't bring a blanket because she said she didn't think that she would need one. She brought one last year, and she said, she was fine. So she was even cold, and she was wearing capris, and her ankles got really red and blue because it was so cold in there. And so we found, which I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, they've opened a new hotel. They've been building it for the past couple of years that we had been going to this convention center, and the hotel is inside one of the buildings that's adjacent to the convention center, and you can actually go from the hotel to the convention center without having to go outside. We didn't stay in the hotel because we didn't know it was open, and it's a Marriott. It was beautiful. We did go into their lobby. It's a beautiful, beautiful hotel. No clue how much that it would have cost. We were only there Friday night and Saturday night, spending the night. It was only an hour from her house and an hour going the opposite direction from my house. But I didn't want to go back and forth. We like spending the night, and we just have fun together, stay up late talking and having some wine. We have dinner together, have snacks. And so it's just a fun, relaxing weekend. But they now have, within this Marriott, it is a Starbucks. And so we go out of the building that we were in, and we go over to the next building over, and we can go into Starbucks. We visited there 3 times, which we don't usually get coffee like that. The coffee that was at the convention center is really, really nasty. It is really bad. It is extremely strong, and sometimes it is extremely hot, and sometimes it's really cold. So we don't buy anything at the convention center. We just bring our own. Of course, we can't bring coffee, but we found this Starbucks, and we went to Starbucks quite a bit between Friday and Saturday. And we would get large coffees, and at one point, I even got mine extra hot because it would last longer. And so I was just holding, my hands were so cold that I was holding the actual cup so I could warm my hands up. We found a bathroom that actually had hot water, which is usually you don't see that. It was on one side of the bathroom, and I would go in there and just warm up my hands by putting it under hot water. Then we'd go outside, and it was steaming outside, just hot and muggy. And we would have on jackets for about 10 minutes before we started to warm up in the Atlanta heat. We would finally get warmed up. We'd be able to use our hands again. I couldn't even color because of the fact that my hands were so cold. So that was one thing. They are going to send out a survey, and that's one thing I'm going to put on there. Everybody was complaining. Some people went to a Target and a Walmart that was around there, and they came back with sweatshirts and sweatpants and hoodies. And, I know that it needs to be cool in places like that. It also helps with germs. But to have it that cold and for people to be uncomfortable, a lot of people left early on Saturday because they were so cold. And so that is not good either if you're trying to drum up more business and you're at this convention center, which is absolutely ridiculously cold. That was the only complaint that I had for the entire weekend of how cold they kept this place. But it was not loud and it wasn't obnoxious. There's been some years where the music was I'll just say it was not my taste. And, and that's fine too. But this year the music was really good. It appealed to everybody. And it was just a lot of fun. You can meet a lot of people that way. A lot of people travel from out of town to come to this type of an event. But the cold was awful. It really was bad. But on the plus side, we got to drink Starbucks coffee all weekend. And I don't usually do that either because, Starbucks isn't the cheapest thing. My friend had gift cards that she had gotten from Starbucks, and she said she never goes. There's not one close to her. And she used those for us. And then that ran out. And then I got us coffee one time since she used both of her certificates for us. But then on Saturday night, we got back to the room. We had our dinner. And we were just sitting and talking. We woke up on Saturday morning to very loud music. And this was at 6:45 in the morning. And it sounded like it was coming from below our room. So didn't say anything on Saturday. We were in the room for a little bit. And then we went over to the convention center. And we came back on Saturday night. And the music was still going. It was really loud. We heard people talking and hooping and hollering. And this was in a Hyatt Regency that was close by where we get discounts for it's not really a retreat, for the event. And finally, at 1:00 in the morning, I told my friend, I'm like, look, I can't deal with this anymore. And so she said, why don't you call down at the desk and just see if they can figure out where this is coming from. So I called, and at 1:00 in the morning, and the front desk rang and rang and rang. And so I thought, maybe they don't answer the front desk in the middle of the night. Can't exactly blame them. So this girl finally answers, and it sounded like she was either running or she was asleep. Maybe I woke her up. But I told her about the music, and I said, I'm not sure where it's coming from. I think it's coming, we were on the second floor. And I said, I think it's coming from below us. I think it's on the first floor somewhere. I don't exactly know where it is, but it's very loud. It is very annoying. It is 1:00 in the morning. We have to get up in the morning to drive home, and we cannot sleep. So she said, well, let me see if I can find it. I'll walk down there and I will let you know. So, okay, that would be absolutely amazing. So within 5 minutes of when I had called, the music shut off. So I'm thinking that it was maybe in an employee's work area, since we were on the second floor. Maybe it was even in their basement area or whatever that they have where they have their laundry and different things, because it shut off immediately. I didn't hear any voices, her talking or anything. So I'm sure that she knew exactly where it was and she told him. And we did not have any more problems the rest of the night. So hindsight, they always say, is 20/20. I should have called well earlier than 1 o'clock in the morning, because we don't usually stay up that late. We were both exhausted, wanting to go to bed, but we didn't because of this loud music. So next time I will be sure to call earlier if I'm in a hotel. I just am one of those that don't like to complain, and she doesn't either. The room was in her name, and her husband actually are, I don't know what you call them, gold members or whatever, and they get points for staying there, and for using like a certain credit card, they can trade their points in and stay at hotels. And so we stayed there so they could get the points. And so I felt kind of weird calling when it was in her husband's name on the hotel room, but she said it was fine. I went ahead and called, and that was taken care of. So then we were able to sleep. But then on Sunday, we woke up at 8, which we usually don't get up that. We don't usually get up that late. To us, that's late. But since we didn't go to bed so late, and it was actually quiet, we woke up close to 8 o'clock, started getting ready to go home. And when I got home, I wasn't tired driving home. Got home, got some lunch, because it was around lunchtime when I got home. And then I told my husband, I haven't diamond painted since Thursday, which sounds kind of funny, but to me that was a long time. And so I said, I'm just going to sit here and diamond paint a little bit. And I did. And then I got so sleepy. I thought, I'm just going to lay down for a little bit, stretched out, and slept for about 45 minutes. And then got up, checked my emails for work, which didn't have that many emails from work because of all of the global issues with technology, with internet. On Friday, still having some issues with the part-time school that I work for, as well as my full-time school. So it's been quite interesting and sad too at the same time, because it just shows how much that we as a nation, it wasn't just the U.S., but we as a nation have relied on internet so much. And when I was growing up, we didn't rely on the internet. We didn't have the internet, which that really puts me in very old. But it was just, oh, there's some more that I missed. I'm glad I saw that before I started pouring all these out. But I live outside of Atlanta. Atlanta is the busiest airport, #1 busiest airport. And they have everything streamlined fairly well, I think, for the most part. But on Friday morning, as I was driving to my friend's house to pick her up, which is an hour drive from my house, a little over an hour, I heard about what had happened, and there were no flights going out at Hartsfield Airport. My husband works within 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes from the airport. He can actually see part of the runway from his office. And he said it was the strangest feeling to look outside and not to see any planes on the tarmac, not to hear any planes taking off. Okay, guys, sorry I had to stop again because Paige thought that Molly needed to come back downstairs and she didn't. So now she's back upstairs. So it was just another quick time with her in and out. See, I'm working on this little section here. This is a bubble that has white ABs in it, so that's really cool. But he said it was just very eerie that there weren't any planes. It was very quiet. They said that there were people that were just trying to check in, and they were wrapped all around past the baggage claim, which is a very good distance from where you have to go in. They just had them routed all over. People were stranded Friday night at the airport because once they did get planes to finally go airborne, then they were behind, and so they canceled hundreds of flights. And then they also had to deal with people who had to get on, who had to get home. And then it had gotten so bad with people wanting cars. They weren't going to stay in the airport for hours and hours. And rental cars decided that they were not going to have car rentals just going one way, or they wouldn't have any cars. So then it got to where people were stuck, or definitely stuck, because they didn't have any transportation to get out of Atlanta. So that was a mess all down in Atlanta. And even today, on Monday, they still have thousands of travelers that are stuck. They're stranded, that cannot get out of Atlanta. The airport is still an incredible mess. They had people spending the night. All of the hotels around that area are booked. I don't know if I'd want to stay in a hotel. It's close to the airport. And as busy and as large as our airport is, there is not an airport hotel. They are adding to parking, and that's made it even messier. On the north side, which is primarily Delta, you cannot park except for hourly parking, and there's not a whole lot of that. So people are now paying hourly rates to park when they are actually going on out of town or on vacation. Now, what I did was when I went to the Great Lakes Retreat is that my husband told me, I said, I may have to get a car pickup service, and that is pretty expensive, plus tip. And so I said, I may have to get a car pickup service because I'm not going to be able to park at the airport. And so my husband was telling me where to park. He said there's some park and rides that have gotten really popular and they're very safe, and you might want to consider parking there. And so he checked it out for me. And so I parked there, and I've got one that's popped up again, and it was very safe. I'm going to have to, these fit in perfect. They're not too tight. I don't know why I'm having some popping drills on this canvas. Very, very unusual, but it could be me too, because I am doing quite a bit of multi-placing, and maybe my multi-placing is causing some of these problems. But I did park in the park and ride, much cheaper. It is kind of a hassle. It wasn't horrible, but when Paige and I go out of town to see Maddie, I'm parking in the park and ride. I already have my reservations. You have to have reservations or you can't get in there because it's so busy. But it just, all of this to say that how much that we rely on, internet so much and satellite so much that everything is shut down. And we're having problems at work, as I mentioned, which is not a good time when we are going into finals week. So starting next week, I will not have class, but I got to start getting ready for fall. And summer went by so fast. I have gotten so spoiled. I was able to work from home, and now starting in August, I'm going to have to go in 2 days a week and spend at least 8 hours a day, those 2 hours on campus. And I know, a lot of you that work full-time are thinking, well, bless your little heart. You're having to go in and you're having to actually work on campus and work in an office. Yes, I know. And I'm so sorry that you have to go in, if you have to go in 40 hours or however long you have to go in. But I'm used to working from home. And I worked from home for years and years as a contractor teaching. And so for me to go in, it's like, oh, it's going to be hard, me having to go in. But once I go in and get started, I'm okay. And the funny thing about it, too, is that when I'm not teaching, I am in my office. When I'm in my office, my door's closed. I do not have a window on my door, so you can't tell if I'm in there or not. And when my door's closed, my door's locked. So nobody can just walk in on me. Everybody does that. So it's like, okay, I am in my office. I'm alone. I am working. I'm not just playing. I am working. But I get just as much done at home as I do in the office. Perhaps even more so at home, because I do have students who knock on the door just to see, hopefully she's in there. And if it's my office hours, I do answer. But I don't leave my door open, keep it closed. I go in to our little break area, which basically consists of a refrigerator, a microwave. We have a Keurig now, but we have to bring our own coffee. We have to bring everything. They don't supply water. They supply nothing. We didn't even have a Keurig. We didn't have a coffee machine or anything. And someone asked, can we at least have a Keurig so, we can make coffee? And so they gave us a machine, but we have to bring our own water for it. You cannot, if you buy something there, it's rather expensive. If you go into the bookstore and you want to buy bottled water, or if you want to buy a drink or something, it's kind of expensive. We don't have a little cafeteria or snack shop or anything on our campus. I think they'd make a lot of money if they did, but they've cut all of that out. We no longer have that either. So I have a small refrigerator in my office. It's a little dorm refrigerator. I keep bottled water in there. I keep flavored water. I keep some soft drinks. And then I take my lunch. So when I do all of that, of course, I'm loaded down on some days when I do go in, but it is well worth it because I am not going to go and buy anything at the bookstore. It just costs way too much. If I need something, I will go and do it. I know the bookstore and I guess she's a general manager of our bookstore. So we talked. She's actually taking one of my classes in the summer. I hadn't heard from her, so I hope that all's good with her. So that's kind of been my summer, that I got to stay home and work. And when I wasn't working, I was able to diamond paint a little extra. So it's been nice. So now I'm going to have to go in. And again, I know, a couple hours, a couple days a week. It's not bad. I enjoy it. I don't want to say I don't. I love my job. I really do enjoy working there. I'm trying to see what I'm missing, the squigglies. And I am missing my students about now, but I'm also glad that I don't have to go in. And it's the only time that I can do that is the summer. And then in between, when we are off for Christmas break because I work year-round. I don't get off in the summers. We don't have contracts any longer at my school where you can work like 9 months and then you're off 3 months, which a lot of schools do, but not everybody gets off for the summer. You may get off for like the winter break, but the winter term or something like that. But we work year-round, and that's fine, because if I was off for 2 months, not having to check emails, not having to do anything, then it would be hard to go back. But hopefully all of the issues, technology issues, are going to be resolved. Some of my colleagues have gotten that black screen of death where you think your computer is completely dead, and it's not. IT has found a workaround. And so when I read that, I thought, oh no, please don't let it be my computer, because then I'm going to have to go in. I'm going to have to sit with IT. It'll probably take hours and hours to get my computer back up, or let them keep my computer. I'll have to go back and get it, and then I'll have to use my personal computer. So I checked that on Sunday as soon as I got back home with my work computer, and it is fine. So thank goodness for that. So that really was it that happened over the week. I just was getting ready for Scrapbook Expo. And let me know what you guys think. If it says Scrapbook Expo, if they were coming to your town, or if you happened to be in Atlanta on that particular time and you thought this might be something fun to do, would you even think that in the craft area that you could work on diamond paintings? Or do you think it would be, strictly scrapbooking? I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. And I'm not affiliated in any way with Scrapbook Expo. I don't even know anybody that even works there or anything like that. But it's just, to me, it's just interesting. And I was really, really surprised at how many people still scrapbook. I thought that was like a dying art, to be honest, that people were going digital. But also shows you how much that I know, because there were people there. I've never seen so much stuff. I mean, stuff everywhere. And they had all these things organized on the floor. And then I looked at my friend. We just busted out laughing because I said, this is all I brought. And it was one small little box of cards to work on. And she said, yeah, pretty much same for me, other than we did bring some markers that we like and to shade with. And I did not bring any of my colored pencils. But if you guys are interested in seeing what I was talking about on those stickers, or what I did over the weekend, let me know, and I can have a video on just that. Or also let me know too, if you would like me to add a video of cards, of what cards I'm making, things that I do, and even my coloring. Most of my coloring, though, I will have to, full disclosure, is that it is going to be on Bible journaling. But the ones I did the coloring for on those stickers are not. But if you would like to see, Bible journaling, anything like that, I might even I could put a vote up underneath the community tab and see if you guys are interested. I mean, my title of my YouTube is the Crafty Diamond, but that does not mean it has to be all diamond painting. I just thought that I should stick with diamond painting, not do anything else. But if you guys are interested, I could do maybe add an extra video either weekly or once or twice a month for you. So I'll put that in the community tab and get some feedback on that, see what you guys think. Very, very curious, because primarily what I've been doing is just some unboxings. I don't even do a lot of those, and unboxings don't seem to really go, it's not as popular as some of the other videos. My whip and chats are pretty popular, I think, and then kitting ups, but and even kitting downs too, but I don't have as many completions as I would like to have. And last year I was kitting up like crazy and ended up with a bunch of diamond paintings that I needed to work on. So I don't want to do that again. I don't want to kit up unless I'm ready to start on it, or within, maybe a month and I know good and well I'm going to start on it. So I'm trying to be better with that also. I do have an unboxing this week, but it's going to be whatever I'm working on for the Cheryl Baker, as I mentioned. It's going to be an unboxing and a kitting up. So I need to decide today or tomorrow what I'm going to do with that. And then that will be on Thursday, I believe. But then I have Thursdays and I have Saturdays, and I don't know what I'm going to do on Saturday yet. I am trying to work on my cross stitch conversion, and I could do another whip and chat on the cross stitch conversion. Thought about that too. I know a lot of you like the longer videos, so I could get that done for Saturday. And I'm going to try to read and also work. May not be on the cross stitch conversion because that's kind of hard for me to do, but to talk and to do. And if I do the actual voiceovers, which I've done about 3 times now, it's a lot of work, guys. It takes me a lot of time to do that, just because I have to diamond paint and not talk, and then I have to turn around, and then I have to do another hour or 2 and talk, and then do all the editing. It can take a very long time doing it that way, and so I just would prefer to do the talking and the diamond painting. And maybe I can do that if I just do like one section, do 10 by 10 little section, and try to do it that way. I can always try it, and if it doesn't work, if I don't like it, I can always delete the video. But let me know what you would like to see. If you would like to see 2 whip and chats a week, like I did that before for a while, I would just do one where I read. The only thing with that is if I don't have enough comments, it's going to be a very short one. Sometimes I would have to put the comments together and then just put them off and do it once I get at least an hour's worth. If it's not an hour, I don't want to, or close to an hour, I would not want to put it out there. I don't want to put just a 30-minute one, which I could. A lot of people do, but I could just work on it until it's at least an hour. So that's a thought too. But I really would like to build my channel, and I do thank all of you so much for being a part of it. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm really enjoying my channel. I really miss not working on my channel over the weekend. And then in August, when I'm gone for a week, I've got to figure out how I can get that done before I leave, so I will have a whip and chat up. Trying to think if there's anything else. Our schools start here on August the 1st. I believe I mentioned this last week. So anytime that we are going shopping, it's like it's so busy, and I really need to go into Walmart. And I know our Walmart is going to be really crowded between now and the 1st. And then after the 1st, it'll be crowded because a lot of people wait until after the first day to get what the kids need. But now they have, at Walmart, they have a list of what all your kid needs, especially in elementary. They'll have the name of the school, and they have the teacher listed. And so that way you can go ahead and get all your supplies. But usually even then, teachers are going to come on the first day and say, well, you need to also have this and this. And then even in high school, they're having some high school classes that already have what they need online. On the school, you just log into the school and it will tell you what they need. So it is crazy. And I am so glad that my kids are done, that Madison is going to nursing school. All I got to do is worry about her tuition and that kind of thing. She had to get different color scrubs and what she wears at work, so I had to pay for that. And they wanted a lot for scrubs. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. When she has to have specific ones, of course. So she went to the bookstore last week and she tried them on. She is so tiny. She had to get an extra, extra small. And they only carry 1 or 2 each pairs of the extra, extra small. And I said, well, as much as this costs, you're just going to have to get 1 pair and you're going to have to go home and wash these things. There's no way. It was over $100. It was close to $150 for what she had to have when she was doing her rotations at the hospital, which I thought was absolutely insane. But I paid for it. I did it. And she's good about only asking for stuff that she really needs. She doesn't ask for something just because she wants it. So that's really good. We're waiting to see if she is going to get financial aid based on, or a grant or anything, based on her grades and just on her income instead of her dad's. The past times that she's applied, the years that financial aid, they have not caught up yet, and the years that they were using, it wasn't fair because it was the year that she was still on her dad's taxes, and they used her dad's and not her, so she didn't get a scholarship or anything. And so because of that, I had to pay for her school, and he did start paying half. I guess he felt bad. Thank goodness, because it's getting very, very expensive. And then also her wedding is outrageously expensive. I told her dad wants to plan for this and to help. He wants to basically pay for the wedding. And then he said, well, you can help me, talking about me if I wanted to. He told me how much it was, and I'm like, oh, well, that is a lot for a small wedding. Maybe I am just living in different reality than what he is. And even Madison said he doesn't have to pay that much, but he's insisting on it. I said, well, if he wants to do that, let him, but don't expect me to help out when he realizes that he's out of money, because it is absolutely crazy expensive. It's not that I don't want to. I want her to have a great wedding experience, but you only have so much money. Everything is just so expensive nowadays. It's like my mother. Okay. I'm going to finish up with this color, and then I am pretty much going to wrap it up today. Again, let me know what you would like to see, if you really like WIP and chats, if you like the format of me reading off comments. And I guess I could ask more questions too on something like that, and then you guys could respond. And that would be great. There are some tag questions that I was tagged on from Diamonds and Dragonflies, Heather, and I have not answered those yet. I need to do that, and I am going to. Thanks, Heather, for tagging me. And I just have not done it yet, but I may do that this week. That could be something I could do on Saturday. That would be something else to add for a Saturday video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.